I remember yelling, "Taser, taser, taser," and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
I'm sorry, so sorry.
Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. Time is, once again, we don't have the time ready. Let's go. Let's do time. 3:07 p.m. Yes, Jersey time. Okay, I'm just going to do a little quick commentary on this story here. This has to do with the Minnesota cop who shot Dante Wright to death. She had the taser, but instead she had her firearm and she blew this kid away. So she's been found guilty. Here it is right there. We'll read the story real quick. But there she is. I gotta tell you folks, honestly, I feel kind of sorry for her because I don't think she intentionally went to do this. I think she was just incompetent. She had tunnel vision. She grabbed the wrong thing, and here we are. All right, let's find out what's going on. Former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter choked up on the witness stand and buried her face in her hands Friday as she recounted the moment she fatally shot Dante Wright while yelling "Taser" in a traffic stop turned arrest earlier this year. "We were struggling. We were trying to keep him from driving away. It just went chaotic." Potter, dressed in a patterned shirt and yellow sweater, testified through tears as her husband, brother, and mother sat in the courtroom. "And then I remember yelling, 'Taser, taser, taser,' and nothing happened. And then Wright told me I shot him." Potter said she remembers seeing Wright struggling with another officer over the car's gear shift movements before she shot Wright. "The officer had a look of fear on his face like nothing I've seen before," Potter said. Potter told jurors she remembers a little about what happened after April's shooting in Minneapolis, suburb of Brooklyn Center. "They had an ambulance for me and I don't know why, and then I was at the station. I don't remember a lot of things afterwards," she said. On cross-examination, Potter cried and buried her face in her hands again. "I'm sorry, so sorry," she said, her voice cracking. She added, "I didn't want to hurt anybody." Well, if you don't want to hurt anybody, why are you a police officer? Because that's what it's all about, being a police officer. You get to hurt people. That's why big guys, those big guys, you know, the bully guys, they like to become cops because they like to hurt people. As Potter spoke, Wright's parents, who testified in the case, sat in the courtroom holding hands. The defense rests its case after Potter stepped off the stand. Hennepin County District Court Judge Regina Chu dismissed jurors until Monday. Then attorneys for the defense prosecution are expected to give closing arguments. Blah, blah, blah. Prosecutors say Potter was reckless and consciously took the risk of causing harm to Wright and others despite years of training on tasers and firearms. Prosecutors also say Potter abused her position of authority and caused a greater than normal danger to the safety of Wright's passenger, other officers, and civilians on the street. Aggravating factors, prosecutors say, warrant a tougher sentence. Well, you know, as I always say, or I've been saying, they're out there risking our lives every day as they protect and serve the government, and this is a clear example of that. The defense attorneys say Potter made an innocent mistake. They also say Potter would have been justified in using a firearm because she was attempting to prevent Wright from injuring another officer as Wright fled the arrest, which is a felony. After Wright was shot, he crashed his car into an oncoming vehicle down the street, injuring his girlfriend in the passenger seat and two people in the other car. The manslaughter charges do not require prosecutors to prove that Potter intended to kill Wright. Potter testified that, well, if you're shooting your gun, you're intending to kill somebody. Potter testified that prior to the day she shot Wright, she never deployed her taser or firearm while on duty, but that she drew her taser maybe a few times. She testified she received an annual training on tasers and was informed about the dangers of weapons confusion, although she said it was not expounded on in training. Potter said she was overseeing a trainee officer when she's training an officer. Well, she sure taught him something, huh? You gotta pull your taser out, you gotta make sure it's your taser. Potter said she was overseeing a trainee officer when she decided to pull Wright's vehicle over, and she most likely would not have pulled the car over herself. So, you know, you're driving down the road and you mind your business and you got a cop out here trying to train another one. Oh, let's pull this one over and I'll give you some training. Jesus, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Potter testified she was compelled by law to arrest Wright and to find out if the woman in the passenger seat had the order of protection. Potter initially testified she did not recall if Wright's vehicle was running during the arrest. She later testified that she previously... what happened here? Okay, sorry about that. We lost the page. So, anyway, let's pick up where we left off. The manslaughter charges do not require prosecutors to prove that Potter intended to kill Wright, but we know she did. Potter testified that prior to the day she shot Wright, she never deployed her taser, blah, blah. I talked about that already. When the officers discovered Wright had a warrant for arrest on a weapons violation and order of protection against him, Potter said she became concerned there could be a weapon in the vehicle. Yeah, they always have these ideas in their head that, you know, this is an old saying, don't believe everything your thoughts tell you. She was compelled by law to arrest Wright and to find out what the woman had. This Potter initially testified she did not recall if Wright's vehicle was running. She later testified that she previously stated the car had been running. Potter also testified she never communicated what had happened to the officers responding to the scene of the car crash. I was very distraught. I just shot somebody. I'd never done that, Potter said, crying. Police body cam videos capturing the seconds after shooting revealed Potter shouted several expletives and said she grabbed the wrong gun. I shot him, she said. She added, I'm going to prison, you got that right, and I killed a boy. Asked about the comments on the witness stand, Potter testified she does not recall making the statements. Witness testimony and evidence presented by the state revealed multiple officers who responded to the scene of the crash were responding to shots fired call and were unaware Wright had been shot. One officer held Wright's vehicle at gunpoint for nearly 9 minutes before the officers dragged Wright's body out of the vehicle. Potter told jurors that she quit after the shooting because she didn't want anything bad to happen to the city. Well, things are going to happen bad to the city. They're going to get sued because of you, lady. She and her husband moved out of state and that she has been in therapy ever since the shooting. I suspect the therapy is part of helping getting the sentence reduced. The moving out of state, I can understand that. People, you don't have many friends these days. In plain language, you intend to do one thing, think you're doing that thing, but do something else and only realize later that the actions you intended was not the one you took. Lawrence Mills said as she looked towards the jurors. Miller said weapons confusion, particularly confusing a firing for a taser, is a form of action error. Several other defense witnesses testified Thursday. Expert witness Stephen James, L. James, a former Missouri police officer, said Potter's use of taser would have been consistent with police training and that the use of deadly force. Well, the question is, how far away was the victim from her deploying the taser? Because the taser, you need distance. And I didn't know about this. I just found this out recently, that shooting you with the taser up close like that and you have 2 points like that, all you're going to get is pain. You're not going to disable. You have to have it far enough apart so the electricity can get into your body and disable you. So I don't know if that holds true. I mean, the kid's in the car and she's right by the car, so what does she have, 2-3 feet? I don't know why they didn't pepper spray the kid. I mean, get pepper sprayed, how are you gonna drive over the car? You're not going anywhere, you can't see. Asked if the officer in question, based on his view of the evidence, was outside the vehicle at the time Potter fired a weapon, L. James said the officer was probably more out than in. Timothy Gannon, a former police chief, testified he was once dragged by a vehicle and felt sheer terror. He said he resigned the same day as Potter because he would not immediately fire her as he saw no violation of policy, procedure, or law. And then when he watched the Potter's body camera video, jurors also heard from several character witnesses who testified, blah, blah, blah. Testimony for the defense came after the state rested his case Thursday morning over the course of 6 days, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the first degree charge carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison. and or a $30,000 fine. The second degree charge has a maximum sentence of 10 years and or a $20,000 fine. The judge will rule on the aggravating factors. And that's that. So we'll put the link in there and get the video for you also. So very tragic thing here. Another person's been killed at the hands of an incompetent police officer. And that's really what I think it comes down to her. It's just incompetence. She probably has never been in a situation like that, as most of us. And she had tunnel vision and she made a major mistake. And the question I have, didn't the other officers notice that she had the gun? I mean, she's yelling, taser, taser, taser. Hey, that ain't a taser, that's your gun. But nobody did anything. So I think this is just an unfortunate situation, and she's gonna have to pay the price. And
check the mic and make sure it
I
sounds
personally,
right,
I don't think
boys.
she's a threat to society now. She don't have a gun anymore. She's not a police officer, so she's not a threat. She didn't do it with malice. She didn't, as it shows in the video, it doesn't look like she intended to kill anybody. It's just a bad situation, and you know, you want to feel sorry for her, but then again, I don't feel sorry. I mean, how many people have they shot and injured and killed over bullshit stuff, and they don't cry tears for us, so I don't know. Should we cry a tear for her? Probably not.
Okay, so stopping at 20201. You have the firearm in your right hand, correct? Yes. And you are pointing it directly at Mr. Wright, correct?
Excuse me, we have a break. My client is...
Okay. Miss Powder, do you need to break?
And then I remember yelling, taser, 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 and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
Can you proceed, or you...
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. After the driver said you shot him, do you remember what you said, or do you, if you don't remember, did you look at the video and see what you said? Or do you actually remember what you said, I guess is my question, not with help from a video.
I don't remember what I said.
And what do you remember next, if anything?
They had an ambulance for me, and I don't know why. And then I was at the station. I don't remember a lot of things afterwards.